Yeah, well, the jury props small sense. I think they do the same thing in we're doing a little intro. When the Baycats play in here, they swap around.
Hello everybody and welcome into Sal Magley Stadium. I'm Josh Davis. A beautiful day here for baseball in Niagara Falls, New York. Top of the first coming up. The Pios getting the first at-bats in game one of this doubleheader. Let's take a look at the Pios lineup this evening. Max Lime, the center fielder, leading off. Then Matt Elahi in the 2 spot. Cooper Smith, the 3. Darren Callahan, the cleanup hitter. Patrick Ward, the 5. Aiden Fry, 6. 7. Andy Schroeder. 8. Coy Schwanger. 9. Manny Castro. And 10. Brody Bartenstein. Defensively for the Americans, Jake Hollins in left, Nick Monil in center, Gavin Boyle in right, Vincent Morrow at third, Dominic Mariani at short, Chris Kramer at second, Graydon Miller at first, and Dalton Harper behind the dish. Pitching for the Americans is Sean Duffy. 6'0", 165 right-hander, freshman from SUNY Niagara. Local kid on the bump for game one of the Niagara Falls Americans versus the Elmira Pioneers. Thank you for tuning in to today's doubleheader. Absolutely beautiful day for baseball, and we are just moments away from starting things off. Max Lime getting ready to step in. Here we go, the first pitch in the dirt and by the catcher Harper. So that'll be a ball to start off the Lime at bat. Pioneers' last league game was a loss against the Newark Pilots. Last week, we had an exhibition game against the Syracuse Saltcats just the other day. But that does not count towards the league standings or stats. That one's down as well. A 2-1 count now to Lime. And here is the 2-1. Inside. And called for strike 2 on the inside corner. So the count even at 2-2 to Max Lime. Waiting on deck is the second baseman Matt Leahy. Lime grounds this one right at the second base bag. The second baseman Kramer is over there. Lime's headfirst sliding into first, but they get him for the first out of the inning. So the Lime showing the effort on the base paths, but is unable to get to first safely. One down for Duffy. Matt Leahy coming to the plate. Leahy's been hot, hitting .316 on the season. 6 runs, 7 RBIs, 8 stolen bases. Leahy has been fantastic at the top of this Pioneers order. He takes the first pitch inside for ball 1. That one's fouled back, so a 1-1 count here to Leahy. Pios starter and the Pios catcher walking into the dugout from the bullpen. Bullpen for the Pioneers just past the foul pole in right field, way in the outfield, as Leahy fouls off strike 2, 1-2 to him. Gary Rochon is the starter for game 1. We will see him in the second half here of the first. Connor Freeman should be the starter for game 2, as that one's in the dirt. A 2-2 count now to Leahy. Cooper Smith, the DH, would be next. And that one's spoiled. Leahy keeps the count at 2-2. that one's taken outside, so the count runs full to Matthew Leahy. The payoff pitch, Duffy puts it in the dirt, and Leahy works a one-out walk. Fantastic AB there from Pio's second baseman. Here comes Cooper Smith. Smith still hasn't started a game in the field. He's been DHing ever since he came back from that shoulder injury, but it is nonetheless good to see him back in the lineup. He's hitting a cool 400 on the season, 9 runs, 7 steals. He has simply been a catalyst at the top of this Pio's order. Leahy goes on the first pitch. It's flown into right. Leahy was sliding into second. He's going to have to get back. A possible double play, but Leahy does get back in time. So Smith flies out to right. Leahy's still on first base now with 2 outs. And the 4-hitter Darren Callahan comes up to the plate. We saw the lefty Lalime and then 2 righties. Callahan, another lefty. We'll see if Leahy decides to take off. Here he goes. Throw down to second. He's in there safely. The throw beat the runner, but the tag did not get him before he got into second. Leahy finds himself with a steal. His 9th steal of the season. The pitch was a strike into Callahan, so it's a 0-1 count to the plate. Flies this one behind the third base bag, trying to stay fair, but it will drop foul. 0-2 to Callahan. Leahy running on contact, he'll head back to second base. Duffy getting ready to deliver the 0-2. And he has him swinging. Callahan strikes out, and the runner on second is stranded. Sean Duffy with a clean first inning. O'Neill, Mariani, Miller coming up for the Americans, and the Pio starter Garrett Rochon coming out to the bump for his first inning of work.
Now my cousin has since sold a house in New Brunswick and moved to Cornwall. Because her kids are right. Yeah, I could do some more of that.
Welcome back to Sal Magley. Garrett Rochon on the bump for the home half of the first, his first inning of work for the Pioneers. Rochon was fantastic in his first couple of starts before struggling in the last one. Overall for the season, he has 17 innings pitched, a 5.29 ERA, 17 Ks, 12 walks. See if he can bounce back and have a good performance today to start off Game 1 of this doubleheader here in Niagara Falls this afternoon. Defensively behind Rochon, we have Aiden Fry in left, Max Lalime in center, Andy Schroeder in right, Manny Castro at the hot corner, Patrick Ward at short, Matt Leahy at second, Darren Callahan at first, and Brody Bartenstein catching Rochon behind the dish. The Americans line up for Game 1. Nick O'Neill leading off. See him in just a moment. Dominic Mariani in the 2 spot, Creighton Miller at the 3, 4 Dalton Harper, 5 Vincent Morrow, 6 Gavin Boyle, 7 Michael Soares, 8 Jake Hollins, 9 Finn Parker, and 10 the second baseman Chris Kramer. So just about ready to start things off in the home half of the first. It is a windy afternoon here at Sal Magley. The wind blowing straight towards the right field foul pole. Left-handed hitters could have an extra boost off the bat this afternoon. It's enough wind that fly balls or anything in the air will be trouble for fielders trying to make the catch. O'Neal steps in. He is a lefty to start things off. Takes ball one high and inside.
Yeah, it was a guarantee, and the same thing. We could have won that, but it's just like they showed us all the salmon pods and this, and where the eagles nesting.
That one's fouled back, so a 1-1 count now to
And you go
O'Neal.
right into where the corner is, where it's like U.S. on one side, Canada on the other, and they're kind of right there on the edge. They don't want to cross over, so you have to go together.
Rochon had fantastic starts on June 5th and the 14th against Geneva and Auburn. Got wins in both of those performances. So that one's taken inside. A 2-1 count to O'Neal. Gave up 2 runs between those 2 starts, 1 in each. And then had a lot of trouble on the 20th last week against Batavia. And he allowed 8 earned runs in only 4 innings of work. This one's flown right at the center fielder Lalime. He's able to make the catch, and a quick out one on O'Neal gets things started for Garrett Rochon and the Pioneers. So here comes Dominic Mariani, the shortstop for the Americans in Game 1. He's in the 2 spot this afternoon.
They stand them and they turn around and they go and grab 5 or 6 feet.
Broken bat over to first. A diving Darren Callahan won't be able to get it, and now there's nobody at first base. A diving Mariani is in there in time. A broken bat single just in between first and second. And that will be the first hit of the ball game. Dominic Mariani finds himself on first base with 1 out. The 3-hitter Graydon Miller comes up to the plate. Miller's had a fantastic season so far. He's played in basically every game. 13 for 41, 317 batting average, 9 runs, 6 RBIs. Miller playing first base this afternoon in Game 1. Rochon will step off. No throw to first, however. Curveball swung on and missed. It's 0-1 to Miller. Mariani not a ton of speed on first base. The Americans not a super aggressive team on the base paths. That is dependent greatly upon the mindset of the manager between the teams in this league. Some teams have been very aggressive on the base paths, others the complete opposite. Pios have been one of those teams that have been willing to run a lot on the base paths. Sometimes it has worked, sometimes it hasn't. 0-2 left outside, 1-2 now to Miller. Dalton Harper, the catcher, is hitting cleanup, and he is on deck for the Americans. Rochon just misses the play with that one, and he evens the count at 2-2. This one's grounded over to third, over the third base bag, and it is touched in foul territory by Manny Castro. So it remains a 2-2 count to Miller. That one got to Castro so slowly, it was probably a good thing that it was foul. If that was fair, he definitely wouldn't have had a chance at Mariani at second. Would have had to make a long throw to first to try and get Miller. And that one does catch the outside corner. Miller strikes out looking. And 2 down here in the first will bring up the catcher, Dalton Harper. Harper hitting .326 with 8 runs, 7 RBIs. The top of this Niagara Falls order is filled with guys with solid stats. Despite the Americans being last in the division, 5-13 record. The Pios 3-0 against Niagara so far this season. Pios played a doubleheader against the Americans at Dunn Field a few weeks ago. As the runner goes, Mariani will be easily in there. Second, the throw gets to the lineman center field. Mariani's going to head to third, and he will be in there. Dominic Mariani going from first to third. Now the Americans now 90 feet away from taking the lead here in the first. Dominic Mariani showing off the speed. And an errant throw by the backstop Brody Bartenstein. He's getting the call tonight. That one's called. Strike one on the outside edge, so 1-1 count to Harper. Harper looking for his 8th RBI on the season. He's got Dominic Mariani waiting on third base. He rips this one and foul down the third base line. On one hop the wall in foul territory, however. This one's ripped right at the shortstop. Patrick Ward recovers and makes the play. That will save a run. Patrick Ward solid as always at shortstop, and a scoreless first inning sends us to the top of the second. 0-0. Pios versus the Americans at Sal Magley.
Oh, yeah? Well, they just walk up and randomly grab
Welcome back to Pioneers versus the Americans, game one of this doubleheader. Patrick Ward just made a nice play in the field for the Pioneers. He'll be starting things off offensively here in the top of the second inning. Sean Duffy, after pitching a clean first, he stranded a one-out walk that he issued to Matt Leahy. He pitched a hitless first. Pios making the trip to Niagara Falls. The doubleheader today. And a day off tomorrow before being back on the road on Tuesday, July 2nd at the Auburn Double Days. That'll be at 7 p.m. Then Wednesday, that's the next home game for the Pioneers, July 3rd, when the Buffalo Diesel come to town for an exhibition game, 6:30 p.m. at Dunfield on Wednesday. So Duffy prepares to pitch to Patrick Ward. Ward steps in. We saw Ward make a nice play at short earlier. The turf field here at Sal Magley, brand new. Beautiful field. But that turf will get you some juicy hops. Ward found that out very quickly for that short. Still was able to make the play. As he fouls this one off. It's going to be an 0-2 count now to Ward. But any ground ball on turf, it's going to bounce consistently, but it is going to bounce quickly. And more importantly, bounce at the fielders. As that one is left high and outside, a 1-2 count now to Ward. These doubleheaders, only 7 innings each, but still 14 innings of baseball as Ward grounds this one literally right up the middle and over the second base bag. No play over there. And that'll be a leadoff single for Patrick Ward. His 9th hit of the season. And now the 6th hitter, Aiden Fry, comes to the plate. Pio's looking to make something happen here in the second. As I mentioned, the Pio's 3-0 against the Americans this season. Definitely looking to get at least one of these two, preferably both. Pio's now 11-8 on the season, as this one will be grounded in between short third and into left. Back-to-back singles open up the second for the Pioneers. Patrick Ward on second, Aiden Fry on first base. Now the 7-hitter Andy Schroeder coming to the plate. Schroeder has been playing a lot of right field ever since the Cooper Smith injury. He finds himself back in the 9th spot in game 1. So Schroeder back in right. Now at the plate for his first at-bat of the day. Squares to bunt and pops it foul for strike 1. The Pio's opening up this inning with back-to-back singles. Runners on first and second with no outs. Andy Schroeder facing an 0-1 count at the plate. Schroeder will drop this one into shallow left. Ward's going to be waved home. The long strides will be enough to get in there. An RBI single for Andy Schroeder opens up the scoring. The Pios take a 1-0 lead. Three singles to open up this second. Sean Duffy pitched a scoreless first, but now the Pios break the ice and get on the board. And the rally still going. As the extra hitter Coy Schwanger comes to the plate. Pulls back the bunt. It's a 1-0 to Schwanger. Schwanger hitting .222 on the year. Penn State Harrisburg product. Takes that one at the knees for strike 1. A 1-1 count now. Duffy came into this game with a 7.81 ERA and 12.2 innings pitched. And has already given up the lead here in the second. Third base coach, head coach Andy Drum, getting the signs into Schwanger. He's got a 1-2 count. The pitch swung on and missed. An important strikeout there for Sean Duffy. And that will be the first out of the second. The 9-hitter Manny Castro comes to the plate. Castro hasn't had any fair ball action at third base, but he will. That one gets by the catcher Harper. It will move the runners, so runners on second and third now with 1 out. Castro with 2 in scoring position now after that pass ball. Castro hitting just .179 on the season, but he's got several RBIs. He's been important in big situations. The infield in here for the Americans. Castro swinging away, fouls that one back, and the count is 0-2. Sean Duffy just got the strikeout on Schwanger and now gets the strikeout on Castro. Back-to-back Ks for Sean Duffy, getting out the 8 and 9 hitters for the Pios. Now bring up the catcher Brody Bartenstein. Now with 2 outs and 2 on. Pios already taking the lead 1-0, but with 2 on and no outs in the inning, back-to-back strikeouts now put the Pios at risk of stranding those runners and not getting more on the board. This has been an issue with the Pioneers all season, being unable to capitalize on scoring opportunities.
I'm going to pay my fee. I couldn't get my thing to log in.
Bartenstein takes that one outside. It's a 1-on-1 count to
I
him.
have no idea. I use the update once a year. I've already updated. So, but first time it's like, timed out. You're not fast enough. Blah, blah, blah. So it's like, so what I'm going to do is I can buy a pass for any time, and it expires December.
Swung on, grounded over to third, and just foul. Mere inches from going far down the third base line. It's a 1-and-2 count now to Bartenstein.
It was only an hour, and it wasn't too bad. We were moving the whole time, so you were just completely stopped. And they had all but
Sean Duffy a pitch away from getting out of this jam, only allowing one in the inning. The 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed. 3 strikeouts in a row on the 8, 9, 10 hitters to end the second. A 1-0 lead for the Pios. Garrett Rochon coming back out, looking to hold it in the home half of the second.
your guys are trying to see him across. No, and he changes 3 lanes, right? Anyway, he had to get in our lane. Anyway, extra time to get right there. Why he gives him the stuff. He's doing this. And then he gets it open back in. He gives him, I figured he's just reading it, and then he's going to let it go, right? She goes like this. Go through 3, and they pull him in. So we were because they'll always say that, right? There's the big cameras. You don't change it. So once you're in, yeah, you don't change it. Now, if you're far enough back and the lanes are all over, it's not such a problem. But if you're looking off, yeah, but you get kind of off. And he's like sideways. Like you can see his doors. He's trying to get across like 3 lanes.
Back at Sal Maglie Stadium, the home half of the second coming up. Garrett Rochon back on the mound now with a 1-0 lead. After Andy Schroeder got the RBI single last inning to get the Pios the first run of the ball game. Garrett Rochon 2-1 on the season. Going to get his 3rd win. All he has to do is hold this lead. Vincent Morrow at the plate. Swings the first pitch, pops it up, and out of play down the first base side.
No, but it's also in that same spot, right? So you get down to the end and you just kind of
0-1 to Morrow. Morrow hitting .229 on the season.
but it's worth it.
He does have 9 runs and 9 RBIs. When he does make good contact, it is productive contact. We saw that in the first doubleheader we played against the Americans a few weeks ago, when Morrow hit a game-tying 3-run home run into Dunfield. Didn't end up winning the game, but it made the Pios get their last at-bats. What a game that game 1 was of that first doubleheader. As Morrow smokes this one in fair territory, that will get to the wall in left field. Morrow chugging into second base, and he has a leadoff double. Vincent Morrow stays hot for the Americans, and Rochon now will have to deal with some traffic on the base paths with no outs here in the second. Gavin Boyle, the right fielder, coming up to the plate. It's an opportunity to tie up this ball game and answer right back for Niagara Falls. Boyle, a lefty, as I mentioned earlier, the wind blowing directly out to right field.
Well, that's used to be on the lake shore.
In fact, the wind might have just kept that one fair for Morrow. That one about 2 feet inside the line the whole way down.
Started putting a cop standing there, right on the thing, and he'll just go like this. Nope. Get going.
0-1 to Boyle. Garrett Rochon takes a peek at second.
What's what I always say? Oh, no, those people-
Delivers the pitch. It's fouled off, so 0-2 here to Boyle. The extra hitter, Michael Sorges, is waiting on deck.
Like, you understand, it's at a place in Ohio, right? And you're over there, they're like, they don't know what's going on.
Rochon has been very good pitching out of the windup. When he's stayed away from trouble, that is when he's been very dominant. But last game against the Muck Dogs, we saw once runners got on the base paths, once he had to pitch out of the stretch, that's when things got icky and he started to give up hit after hit. His velocity was down, his command was worse. We're going to keep this lead for the Pios here in the early portions of this ball game. As I mentioned, it is only 7 innings, so the Pios getting such an early lead is so important, as it is difficult to make late inning comebacks with only a 7-inning game, and that will catch the knees. A strikeout looking to Gavin Boyle, who gets an important first out for Garrett Rochon and the Elmira Pioneers. The aforementioned Michael Sorges now coming up to the plate. 1 out and a runner on second base. Sorges batting just 162 on the season. Takes the first pitch upstairs for ball 1. Patrick Ward playing way back, right on the edge of the outfield grass at shortstop. That one's fouled off on 1-1 count out of Sorges. The 1-1 pitch in the dirt, a nice stop there by Bernstein, keeps it in front of him, and more importantly, keeps Vincent Morrow at second base. It's 2 balls, 1 strike to the extra hitter for Niagara Falls, Michael Sorges at the plate. Rochon takes a peek at Morrow on second, delivers the pitch. A breaking ball, just catching the outside edge. And the count is 2-2. Rochon just got a backwards K to Gavin Boyle. Now with an opportunity to get another strikeout here to Michael Sorges, a 2-2 count. The pitch dropped and left outside. Rochon almost got another backwards K there. Just missed the outside edge, and the count runs full. The 3-2, and that hits him. The runner was stealing. He'll have to head back to second base because it was a hit by pitch and not a walk. So actually a good hit by pitch there by Rochon, obviously unintentional. But it ended up keeping Vincent Morrow at second, not allowing him to steal. So now runners on first and second with 1 out. The 8-hitter Jake Hollins coming to the plate. The Americans looking to tie up this ball game and answer right back. Hollins swings right through strike 1. The runners go. It's flied to shallow left. Fry drops the ball. The runners had to tag, so it'll just be a single, but a bad error by Aiden Fry on a can of corn to left. You have to think that the wind caused some issues there. Now the base is loaded with 1 out after the Fry error. The 9-hitter Finn Parker, the DH in Game 1, at the plate. Fry, normally a second baseman, starting game 1 out in left field this afternoon. Makes an early error here in the second to load the bases.
So I signed up for Reebok.com, and then they'll send me a special. And then I have to switch my VPN to the American side. Because if you type in
Parker takes that one for strike 1. It's a 1-1 count to him.
okay, but I have people on 4 and they're like, okay, oh, we don't sell it.
Pios have a force at the plate or a double play to get out of this jam. Big swing and a miss. It's a 1-2 now to Parker. I say there are only 2 options. Well, there is always a strikeout. See if Roshan can get one here. A 1-2 pitch. Just missed outside. Counting even at 2-2. An important at-bat here early on in this ball game. Bases loaded, a 2-2 count to Finn Parker. Grounds it over to third. It's off the glove of Castro. Ward won't have any play backing up. And that will be back-to-back errors to bring in the run. Unearned on Roshan, but nevertheless, a tie ball game here in the home half of the second. The Americans answer back. And just as important, Pios were unable to get anybody out on that play. So now the bases are still loaded with still 1 out in the inning. Chris Kramer, the second baseman, at the plate. He pops up the first pitch and into foul territory for strike 1. The top of the order will be coming up for Niagara Falls. Manny Castro likes to play up in that third base spot. At Dunfield, that makes sense because of how much the infield grass kills ground balls. But this turf here at Salamagley really skips. It's eaten up a couple of infielders already in this game. The Pios inexperienced at this field. Roshan the 2-1. This one's grounded in foul territory by third base. It's 2-2 count now to Kramer. Fry and Castro, both normally very good fielders. The wind likely hindering Fry out there on left, and then the infield turf likely hindering Castro at third. And while those are excuses, they're not valid excuses. So a tough run here early on, as Roshan looks to work out of it. It's a full count here to Chris Kramer, the top of the order. Nick O'Neill is waiting on deck. And that one's in the dirt. The Americans walk in a run, and they take the lead 2-1. Still only 1 out in the inning with the bases loaded. Quite a rally brewing here for the Americans. Nick O'Neill, the leadoff hitter, is at the plate. Garrett Roshan still needs 2 outs to get out of this inning. This one's lined to center. The lime is there. Will throw to the plate. And it will not be in time. So another comes into the sac fly off the bat of O'Neill. And it is now a 3-1 ball game here in the second. Dominic Mariani is at the plate. Runners at first and third now for the Americans. Pio's now down 2 runs, as I mentioned, the shorter games in the doubleheader. Gives less time for the Pioneers to make a comeback here. First pitch to Mariani drops in for strike 1. The 0-1 at the knees, and it's 0-2. Roshan's command hasn't been too much of an issue so far this afternoon. He hasn't even been that hittable, just those errors and then the untimely walk has allowed the runs. Roshan steps off, throws to first base. And that one's going to be a strikeout swing. Barnstein dropped it, throws down to first, and that will end the second. An eventful second inning here. After a scoreless first, the Pios took a 1-0 lead in the top of the inning. And then the Americans answering back with 3 in the home half of the second. That is our score, 3-1. So we head to the top of the third. Sean Duffy back on the mound. The Pios top of the order back at the plate. Lalime, Leahy, and Smith coming up when we come back.
She got head on side street, and some person who wasn't supposed to be driving hit her, backed up and hit her again, twice, and then split. But somebody came out on the street at the camera, had her on video, and had her playing the video. So the cops went and got her. Anyway, so they wrote off her car. And her car was like 44,000 kilometers. In 2012, it was only 7%. Yeah, well, I was Toyota, right? So, people look online, that same car is like $13,000 or $14,000. They offered me $12,000. I'm like, nope. They knew you can beat it with, right? I'm not taking it. They're like, we can find, I'm sure you're going to bring a car in from like Northern Ontario, right? Like, we're talking, I'm like, let's just pick within $100. Right? Let's see if we can. Anyway, they ended up coming out to $1,900. Which is still fine.
Back in Niagara Falls, New York, a 3-1 ball game between the Americans and the Pioneers. An eventful second inning has given us some scoring here early on in Game 1 of this doubleheader. Only 7 innings in each of these games in the doubleheaders, so the Pioneers not with a ton of time to make a comeback. We'll see if they can do it right here, answer back quickly just as the Americans did. Top of the order is up for the Pioneers. Lalime takes the first pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Swings and misses. It's 1-1 now. Now that one hits Lalime. What is the call here? Possibly it just hit the bat. Will be a 1-2 count, so I believe the call is a foul ball. Lalime acted like it hit him, but it was called a foul ball. That one's left high, so it's 2-2 now to Lalime.
But it's still there, regardless. It's regardless.
And that one is left inside. So the count has run full to the Pios leadoff hitter. Matthew Leahy is waiting on deck. Leahy walked in his first at-bat. This one's floated behind short, and a shallow left. Coming in is Jake Hollins, and he makes the tough catch. Dominic Mariani was ranging back. It looked like he was going to try and make an attempt at that, but Collins had a much easier look. So the line flies out to left. Leahy now coming up with one out in the inning. Leahy pops up the first pitch right behind the first base bag, just in foul territory, and the first baseman Graydon Miller is there to make the catch. So quickly, 2 outs here in the top of the third. Sean Duffy really starting to settle in after allowing the run to come in last inning. Now the 3-hitter Cooper Smith coming to the plate. So Smith steps in. He takes strike one looking. Sean Duffy's command has really started to look good here in the third especially. He leaves that one upstairs. 1-1 count now to Smith. Smith has arguably been the Pio's top hitter all season long. He had a couple of games where he did not play due to a shoulder injury that he suffered against the Newark Pilots on the road a few weeks ago. But Smith back in the lineup. He's been DHing the last few games. He takes that one at the knees for strike 2. The count even at 2-2 now to Smith. Remains to be seen when we'll see him back playing right field again. That is how he injured his shoulder, diving for a fly ball close to the right field line. So for now, he'll just be swinging the bat. He does strike out swings, so Duffy gets a 1-2-3 on the Pio's 1-2-3 hitters, and the score remains 3-1 as we head to the home half of the third.
And he was a good kid? Oh. Yeah, that's an idea. And you're like, when the kid outside, he's smoking with you, he works 3 hours a day and 8 hours a day. So I tell people the story. I never tell them I tell them the story when he's like, it's like, okay, it's 8:45. No. We don't have that until around 11. Oh my God. He's working for the government. So, her son, my stepson, he was working for a company, and then the popcorn place, and then he went somewhere else. His boss went to another company. They were doing DVDs and selling. I didn't even think there was still stores. Anyway, he's still I guess if you don't have Netflix, well, again, if you don't have good internet, you can't stream, you can't watch it. So anyway, they closed. He didn't get fired, they just closed the company, right? Because I guess the writing's on the wall for that. But they kept it open on one.
Back at Sal Magley Stadium, home half of the third coming up. Graydon Miller leading things off for the Americans. Here on the home half of the third, Garrett Rochon quickly back on the mound. Just struggled through the second. Now after a quick top of the third, it's back out on the mound. Big swing and a miss. So 1-1 now to Miller. This one's flown to left. Another chance for Aiden Fry. He ranges over there. The wind pushing it away from him, but he gets to the spot and makes the catch. Aiden Fry redeeming himself. And the Miller fly out. Gets an easy out for Rochon. That's exactly what he needed. Now here comes the cleanup hitter, Dalton Harper. Harper takes that one at the shins for ball one. That one up a little higher, and it'll be in the strike zone. 1-1 count now to Harper. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Garrett Rochon. The chance here against the Americans' cleanup hitter. Rochon has looked very sharp, other than that last part of that second inning, when it was mainly just a couple of errors that hurt him, and he freezes Harper. A big backwards K for Mr. Rochon. Now the 5-hitter Vincent Morrow is coming up to the plate with 2 outs and nobody on in front of him. So Morrow steps in, takes the first pitch in the dirt for ball one.
I saw my dog run away for 3 days.
Morrow grounds this one over to third, and up another play for Manny Castro, and this time he has it. So Aiden Fry and Manny Castro making errors in the second, and then making plays in the third behind Garrett Rochon. A 1-2-3 third for both pitchers, a lightning fast third inning. And we head to the top of the fourth. Niagara Falls still up 3-1 on the Pioneers.
Meanwhile, we're watching them right. So right now it's 11 p.m. It's like right now, exactly. And then you'll see between 11:30 and 12, it'll just get to the bottom of the trees, right? And then all of a sudden it starts coming back up again. But then it says like in the winter, all of a sudden, you have 1 month, and they have solar. They're on grid, so they have solar. So. They say he's 8 hours north of it. The mosquitoes are the size of transport trucks. Anyway, you're saying about yeah, but it's the same with them. Like when they go, they're like 7 hour drive.
Sean Duffy has allowed 1 inning, 1 run through 3 innings of work. He has been very strong. Just pitched a 1-2-3 on the Pios 1-2-3 hitters last inning. Now the cleanup hitter for the Pioneers, Darren Callahan, will start things off here in the fourth. Garrett Rochon also pitched a 1-2-3 third. How about that? 6 batters and 6 outs in the third inning. Callahan pulls the first one way foul. Callahan, probably the top lefty hitter on this team, and with that wind blowing straight out towards the right field pole. See if he can make something happen. Goes the other way with this one and puts that into foul territory as well. And the count quickly 0-2 to Darren Callahan. Especially with this wind and the short fence 325 out in right field, and not that tall of a fence. Definitely a possibility we see a home run at some point today in the 14 innings of baseball. Callahan strikes out to start off the fourth. Sean Duffy really starting to dominate. It's just pitched to the top 4 hitters of the Pios, none of them getting on base. Now the 5-hitter Patrick Ward comes to the plate. He takes ball 1 in the dirt.
Well, you start out 90.
And same spot, hitting the plate.
Well, no.
2-0 to Patrick Ward.
70 miles an hour, but it's like 2-lane road.
Ward
Yes.
singled and then scored
Yeah.
in the second. He represents the Pios' lone run.
It's much nicer.
And he fouls that one off. Same place Callahan did.
Yeah. Well, and people are just crazy. That's usually not too bad.
It's 2-1 now to Ward.
Yeah, it's weird that you're like, okay, the yellow light turns flashing. Okay, you're gonna get a red light. What do you mean? I'm doing 70.
Check swing, fouls it off the hands. That makes it 2-2. Sean Duffy, the 2-2 pitch in the dirt, and he works the count full.
So worse than that. Oh, you're raining over that. Yes. But a few years ago, probably like before COVID, we were going to Florida.
And he walks Ward. And the 3-2 pitch, that ends the streak of 6 straight batters sat down by Sean Duffy. Ward works a 1-out walk. And now Aiden Fry comes to the plate. This middle portion of the Pios order has been the best part of the Pios order so far in this game. These are the guys that brought home the run in the second. Fry rips this one towards right field. It's going to get to the wall on a hop. Ward's going to run around third. He's going to go to the plate, and he is in there. A bases clearing triple for Aiden Fry. And the Pios get one back here in the fourth. That's what I was saying earlier. That wind blowing straight out there to right. Aiden Fry just poked one out there, got some pretty good wood on it. And it just kept going, sailing over the head of Gavin Boyle. I'm not sure how that one didn't bounce over the wall. But it's better that it didn't, as it allowed for a triple instead of just a ground rule double. As Andy Schroeder comes to the plate, he takes ball one looking. That one's in the dirt. It gets by the catcher, Harper. Here comes Leahy. He's in there. This ball game is tied at Sal Magley. The offense has exploded since a quiet first inning. And Sean Duffy, who had sat down 6 straight, has now allowed 2 quickly here in the fourth. Pios tie things up at 3. The middle portion of this Pios order continues to get on base and do big things for this team. Elmira right back in the thick of it here in game 1 of this doubleheader. Still only 1 out in the inning. Nobody on now in front of Schroeder. Takes that one upstairs, and it's 3-1 now.
No, I'm saying this. Listen, you would say, here's what I would do. Yeah. She wouldn't say, here's what I would do. I just think it's crazy.
The 3-1's inside, and Schroeder works another walk. Here comes Coy Schwanger, the extra hitter. Schroeder gets his lead off of first base. We'll see how aggressive the coach Andy Drum is here. The leading run on first base now for the Pios. Schwanger takes ball 1 upstairs. Schroeder goes, pitch is high to Schwanger, and the throw is high and into center field. Backing up in time is Nick Moneill, but nevertheless, Schroeder with a stolen base, and he puts himself in scoring position. Time will be called. We will have a mound visit as the catcher Dalton Harper heads out to talk with his pitcher Sean Duffy. Duffy had sat down 6 in a row when Patrick Ward came to the plate. Ward worked a fantastic walk, and Fry ripped a triple. Fry then came in on a wild pitch, and that is what tied the ball game. Andy Schroeder worked a walk. Now he just stole second base, and he represents the leading run on second. Clay Schwanger has a 2-0 count at the plate. Sean Duffy has labored through this fourth, and he still only has one out. And that one hits Schwanger. Right in the shoulder, high and into Schwanger. He'll take first base. Right after the mound visit. And now here comes the head coach, Mike Gabriel. The Americans' bullpen is quiet for now. There's runners on first and second with one out for the Pioneers. The hitter will be Manny Castro. Castro has been absolutely fantastic with runners on in front of him this season. Now with another chance here to do some damage and give the Pios potentially the lead once again. Pios led 1-0 after the top of the second inning. The Americans answered right back with 3 of their own in the home half of the second. Now the Pios tying this ball game up once again at 3 here on the top of the fourth. Fry hitting in Ward, and then Fry getting in himself from the pass ball. So Duffy back in action. The runners will go. The throw to second, and they have Schwanger hung up. He's going to get in a rundown. Schroeder hanging out, and Schwanger's going to get in there. A mistake by the first baseman, Graydon Miller. He got distracted looking at Schroeder on third base, and Schwanger just glided into second. So the Pios successfully steal. The pitch was a strike to Castro, so it's 0-1 to him at the plate. Pios now second, third, and only one out. That one's fouled back. It's 0-2 now to Castro. A hit could really take over this ball game for the Pioneers. Castro at the plate. Brody Bartenstein will be next. That one's in the dirt. A nice stop behind the dish by Dalton Harper to keep that one from getting by him. Andy Schroeder with plenty of speed on third base. A pass ball would get him in. No hit necessary. Tipped and into the glove of Harper. He's showing off his skills behind the dish, and Castro strikes out swinging. 2 down now in the top of the fourth. A big out there on the Pios' third baseman. And here comes Brody Bartenstein. Bartenstein takes that one outside for ball 1. Pios looking to take advantage. 2 on in scoring position here, 2 outs in the inning. Fantastic opportunity to take the lead. That one's high, and it's 2-0 to Bartenstein. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-1. There is some action in the Pioneers' bullpen. The Americans' bullpen is still quiet. It looks like it's Nolan Terwilliger out there for the Pioneers, up and moving. That one's left high. It's 3-1 now to Bartenstein. Like Coach Andy Drum said before the game, there is no clear path to which pitchers are going to come in. Everybody is in the cards. 3-1 taken for a strike. It's a full count now to Bartenstein, and a huge pitch here coming for Sean Duffy. The payoff pitch stays high. Bartenstein works a walk, and the bases are now loaded for the Pios leadoff hitter, Max Lalime. Tie ball game, 2 outs. Here in the 4th, the Pios already with 2 in the inning to tie things up. Now Max Lalime, chance to really blow the doors open here. First pitch on the inside edge for a strike to Lalime. Sean Duffy looking to work himself out of the jam. Lalime takes that one high, and the count is even at 1-1. Lalime, a lefty hitter. Lefty hitters have an advantage this afternoon with the wind blowing straight out towards the right field pole. We already saw it from Aiden Fry. He hit a triple out there. This one's floated right behind the pitcher mound. The wind blowing it over towards third, and Morrow has it. Duffy works out of the jam. Pios strand the bases loaded. But nonetheless, 2 come in the 4th. Elmira ties up the ball game. We are even at 3 heading into the home half of the 4th.
This season, if you want to connect with the Americans like never before, with exclusive content on our social media platforms. Make sure you follow us on all platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter. Also, this season, get yourself the latest American gear by stopping down and visiting my good buddy Joe the Merch Pro. At Joe's Standy offers all the best American gear, including hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, warm-up staples, and much, much more. Make sure you stop by the merchandise stand and get your thoughts on the concession. Americans.
So the Pios strand the bases loaded in the top of the 4th. They did tie up the ball game. The bat of Aiden Fry getting an RBI triple and then scoring on his own. Got the 2 runs to tie up the game. And the Pios had some chances to do a lot more in that 4th, and they were unable to. That has been the story of the season so far for the Pioneers. It's just the complete inability to score, the scoring opportunities that we've had. Garrett Rochon back out there for his 4th inning of work. This one's popped up shallow left. The shortstop gives way to the left fielder, Aiden Fry, and he has it for a quick first down of the inning. So after the Boyle flyout, Michael Soares comes to the plate. Here, Rochon pitched a 1-2-3 third last inning. Puts that one in for strike 1 to Soares. Rochon has sat down 5 in a row. Coming into the Soares at bat, leaves that one down and away. It's 1-1 now. That one misses inside. So now a 2-1 count to Michael Soares. The left fielder Jake Hollins is waiting on deck. And that one misses high. So Roshan on the brink of losing Suarez. And he does. A 1-out walk issued to Michael Suarez puts him on first base. Jake Hollins comes to the plate. The bottom of the Niagara Falls lineup looking to do some damage and retake the lead here in the fourth. First pitch right over the middle for strike one. Popped up. Behind second, Lalime having to run a long way. He has it. That was not an easy play for Max Lalime. To DH Finn Parker comes to the plate now with 2 outs and a runner on first base. Yeah, I don't think there's many players on this team that made that play that Max Lalime just did. I think he thought the wind was going to push that one a little more towards center. He has another chance here, another fly ball, the same spot, and Lalime makes the catch. It's the Pio's outfield making a few plays there behind Roshan. And Roshan has really started to settle in here. He's pitched 2 scoreless innings in a row. And we have a tie game still as we head to the top of the 5th inning. 5th, 6th, and 7th. 3 innings left here in game 1 of this doubleheader. Stick around. We got some fantastic baseball coming your way.
Also known as cup pump. This means today, Niagara Falls versus Ignis Anyway, we're going to take him down just under the defense. Alright, now we can get started. And with that being said, I'm going to turn the mic over to Mr. Nolan. Are we doing American? Every second of that. One more time. How are we doing, American?
Number 1, how much ever going to go?
Yep, that's better. That's better. Okay, we got a game. Here we go, Brandon. Pick it up.
Next day.
Cash. Not surprised. Not surprised, Home Michelle. Let's see what you got, Pioneer.
What was the other kid? The other kid was actually more experienced than him, but they just liked him.
Yeah,
They announced and talked. Sometimes you can't. Well, you can get away with the fight, like if you're number, you can get away with it. But a little, yeah, but I'm saying overall. But we don't know if they don't get to see it. Like they gotta go next time.
So we got 2-2. That was terrible. Next bucket wins. Next bucket wins.
No, but he's there working.
Follow for the win. Oh my God. This is embarrassing. Yeah. Boys, we gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about this.
Welcome back to Sal Magley Stadium. I'm Josh Davis. Top of the 5th inning coming up. A fantastic day for baseball, and we have a fantastic ball game in front of us. 3 innings left and a tie game at 3-3. Matthew Leahy at the plate to start off the 5th for the Pioneers. Sean Duffy back on the mound for the Americans. He was very strong through the first 3, but allowed 2 last inning. Puts the first one high to Leahy. 1-0 count. On the other end of things, Garrett Roshan has really started to settle in himself. He's pitched 2 straight scoreless. This one's popped up to the third baseman, Morrow. A shortstop right behind him, and Mariani calls him off to make the catch. So Leahy pops out. One out, nobody on. The DH, Cooper Smith, comes to the plate. Still looking for the top of this Pio's order to do something. It's been the middle half, I should say the middle part of this Pio's order that has been doing all of the damage. Ward, Fry, Schroeder, those guys have been the catalyst for the offense in game one. Still looking for the Pio's top hitters to make some solid contact. Smith is facing a 1-1 count here. Smith rips this one right at the second baseman, Kramer. He makes the throw to first, and that'll be the second out of the fifth. A well-hit ball just right at an Americans fielder. And here comes Callahan with 2 outs, nobody on. Callahan, tons of power from that lefty side. Still waiting for him to get into one towards right field. He's popped up the first pitch. Morrow over there straddling the third base line, and he makes the catch. A quick 1-2-3 for Sean Duffy. We head to the home half of the fifth. Still tied up. More Garrett Rochon coming at you when we come back.
Take a moment and stand up and stretch our legs and join me as we sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, 'cause it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. 'Cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Thank you. Thanks, honey.
Just had the 5th inning stretch here at Sal Maglie. If that sounds weird, you're right, it is. But that's how it is this afternoon, a doubleheader, 7 innings each. So the 5th inning stretch, that's what we're doing. Garrett Rochon is back on the mound for his 5th inning. It's just pitched scoreless 3rd and 4th. He's really starting to settle in and look good. Chris Kramer, a 10-hitter, coming up for the Americans. Kramer swings the first pitch, tough ground ball to Castro. He has this one, makes the long throw, and a 1-pitch out to start off the 5th. The order turns over now for Niagara Falls. The leadoff hitter Nick O'Neill comes to the plate. The first pitch to O'Neill misses inside. Rochon versus Duffy has seen some pretty great moments so far. It's been an incredibly even ball game the whole way through. Scoreboard reflects that. If it weren't for those couple errors in the second, the Pios probably would be winning this ball game. That one misses just below the knees. 2 balls, 1 strike to the Americans' leadoff hitter Nick O'Neill. Can't check on that one. Hits the umpire. The count will be 2-2. Give him a moment behind the dish. Roshan had very solid first two starts against Geneva and Auburn, both at home. And then another one at home against Batavia where he struggled, allowed 8 runs. And he's bounced back solidly. I believe only one of the runs he's given up is earned. Maybe none of them are. Puts that one in the dirt, so it's a full count now to O'Neill. Dominic Mariani, the shortstop, is waiting on deck. And he misses down and away. So Roshan issues a one-out walk to Nick O'Neill. That is the one guy on this Americans lineup you do not want on the bases. He leads the team with 4 steals. Mariani comes to the plate. Let's see how long it takes for O'Neill to take off. Roshan will check on him over there before even throwing a pitch to Mariani. And he'll check again. Back-to-back pickoffs by Garrett Roshan. I think he knows how dangerous O'Neill is on the bases as well. First pitch to Mariani is dropped in there for strike 1. Roshan has not been afraid to throw that breaking ball early on in counts, not just late in counts. Another check on O'Neill over there. That one was closer than the others, but still not in time. O'Neill, a fantastic base runner in that leadoff spot for the Americans, on with 1 out and nobody in front of him. Hasn't really jumped out to a huge lead yet. Those secondaries aren't really making up for the lack of a primary either. That one misses inside. It's a 1-on-1 count to Mariani. Roshan, the right-hander, really trying to work the base paths here. A nice stop by Bartenstein behind the dish to keep that in front of him, and the count is 2-1 to Mariani. O'Neill goes. It's a breaking ball, so Bartenstein had no chance to get that one in there. Speed of Nick O'Neill grants himself second base. And it's a 3-1 count to Dominic Mariani at the plate. Finally is action in the Americans bullpen. Appears to be Andrew Damiani. And that one's in the dirt. So back-to-back walks put runners on first and second with 1 out for the Americans. Here comes head coach Andy Drum. Roshan has gone through 4 1/3 innings, but it appears that will be it. Bullpen has been very active for the Pioneers all game. See if this is going to be it for Roshan. Coach Drum hasn't taken the ball yet, so it appears this might just be a normal mound visit. That will be the case. Roshan will be out to work this jam his own. The hitter will be Graydon Miller, and then Dalton Harper. 3 and 4 hitters for the Americans, looking to retake this lead. Garrett Roshan looking to work himself out of this self-inflicted jam. This one is absolutely destroyed. Sailing out to left center, it will drop. One coming in, and then Mariani will stay at third. It's an RBI double for Graydon Miller, and the Americans have retaken the lead. Right off the bat, you could tell that one had plenty of room. Nobody was going to get that one, especially in the gap. Doesn't matter how much range Max Lalime has. That one was always going to get down. Mariani couldn't score from first. He just went from first to third. So runners on second and third now. Still went out in the inning. Cleanup hitter Dalton Harper comes up to the plate. Harper takes that one down and away for ball one. Roshan will try and limit the damage here. The sacrifice would likely bring Mariani in. This one's grounded over to third. Castro will look home the runner at third, and Harper will not be able to sacrifice the runner. A nice play by Manny Castro at the hot corner. He's really shaken off that early error and made some nice plays over there at third recently. And now two down. Runners on second and third. The five-hitter Vincent Morrow coming up to the plate. All Roshan has to do now is work on the hitter to get out of this jam, only allowing one. Starts off Morrow with two straight balls in the dirt. Morrow doubled earlier. Double here would score a few. Runners on second and third, two outs. This one's ripped, and it will get down in the gap in left field, and it will be a double for Vincent Morrow. You better go check that bat. It might be burning on fire. Morrow is hot. Two more comes in for Niagara Falls. So Roshan stayed in the game. And that ultimately might have been the wrong decision. I know 4 1/3 was probably too early to pull him. And now Niagara Falls with a 3-run lead. Here with only a few innings left to play. Gavin Boyle at the plate fouls the first pitch back for strike one.
That's what my watch says too.
It's just been the 2 innings for Roshan, the second and now the 5th, where all the runs have come in. In the first, third, and fourth, he has looked very sharp. The innings where the Americans are getting to him, they are getting to him. 6 runs on only 4 hits. Obviously, the 2 errors committed in the second, likely the reason for that. One just misses outside. So it's grounded over the first for Callahan. He's able to step on the bag. But 3 comes in. The Americans take a 3-run lead. break the tie once again. We head to the top of the 6th. 2 innings left to play. It'll be down to the Pioneers bats to try and make a comeback here in Game 1 of this doubleheader at Sal Magley.
Hey, did you say, who sent you? Oh, Martha from Wagner's. $50 for one? Most people don't know, right? Your age, right? Whatever, if I ask the kids, they'll be like, what? I used to talk about that. That's one of my favorites. Like that little guy and slap in the back of the head. So I there's some words, right? So anyway, I always remember this thing where
welcome back to Sal Magley Stadium, the top of the 6th. Coming up, the Americans just took the lead back in the 5th. They scored 3 more on Garrett Rochon. So we have a 6-3 ball game, 2 innings left in the first game of this doubleheader. We have a new pitcher for the Americans. Andrew Damiani comes in to replace Sean Duffy. Damiani has only pitched 2 innings so far this season. It was a few days ago on the 28th in the loss to Newark. He allowed 1 hit, no runs. So now getting his 2nd appearance for the Americans. We're going to hold on to this lead. He would likely stay in to pitch the 7th, so Damiani looking to probably get the 2-inning save here for the Americans. And obviously, in these doubleheaders, both teams try not to stretch their bullpens too thin, so it would be huge for both teams, but more importantly for the Americans to get a win using only 2 pitchers. First pitch to Patrick Ward is upstairs for ball 1. It'll be Ward, Fry, and Schroeder. The hot part of this order here in this inning. See if the Pios can answer back. Ward fouls that one off. It's 1-1 to him. Game 2 of this doubleheader at 4:30. Just right about a half hour after Game 1 in Milan. That one misses outside, so it's a 3-1 count to Ward. Pios leadoff man looking to get on base. Ward walked in his last at-bat. Swings at this one, fouls it off. And the count runs full. As I mentioned earlier, the Americans 0-3 versus the Pioneers, looking for their first win against Elmira this season. And Ward strikes out looking. What a pitch on the inside corner by Andrew Damiani. And he starts off the top of the sixth with a strikeout. Here comes the red-hot Aiden Fry. He's 2 for 2 on the day. He tripled in his last at-bat. Tripled and then scored. Can't check the first pitch. It's 0-1 to Fry. And the 0-1 is popped straight up towards the first baseman Miller, and he will make the catch for out number 2. So the 2 hottest hitters on the Pioneers striking out and popping out to first to start off the 6th. Here comes Andy Schroeder, the right fielder, looking to do something with 2 outs and nobody on. Schroeder takes that one inside. It's 1-0 to him. And that one down. So 2 balls, no strikes to Andy Schroeder. If Schroeder were to get on, Coy Schwanger will be next. This one's popped up and getting out of play. Hitting the roof here at Sal Magley. It's 2-1 count now to Schroeder. This one's ripped, but right at the center fielder, Nick Moneill. He gets under it and makes the catch. A 1-2-3 inning for the flame-throwing Andrew Damiani. He pitches a clean 6th. We head to the home half of the 6th. The Americans looking for some insurance runs. They hold a 3-run lead. Looking for more. Garrett Rochon back out there on the mound when we come back. I welcome you back to Elmira Pioneers baseball. It's a 6-3 game in the home half of the 6th against the Niagara Falls Americans. Game 1 of a doubleheader here at Sal Maglie Stadium. Garrett Rochon back on the mound for the Pioneers. Michael Soares at the plate to start things off for the Americans. Soares takes strike one looking.
Because if they help you, they don't know how to park. They'll pack your loaf bread on top and then throw a case of cherries on top. Yeah. It's like, forget it. We just get them to put it in the cart. We'll load it up.
Soares fouls this one out of the box. It's 0-2 to him. Rochon in line for the loss unless the Pios could make some magic happen in the 7th. And Rochon gets a strikeout on Soares to start off the 6th. Jake Hollins comes up now with 1 out, nobody on. Rochon has looked good in the innings he hasn't. Now, in the innings he hasn't, he's given up 3 runs each, the 2nd and the 5th. Just inconsistent stuff from the young right-hander. Rochon just out of high school. He'll be attending Ottawa University this fall. Jake Hollins puts this one into shallow center. Max DeLime sliding and making the catch. Max DeLime has made a couple of fantastic catches out in center field today. Really showing off the range, fighting off the wind, the sun, all of it. He's made some fantastic plays out there. An anchor in the outfield for the Pioneers. Quickly 2 down now in the 6th. Finn Parker, the DH, at the plate. Swings and misses at strike 1. That one down low below the knees, so 1-1 now. Parker, 2 outs in the inning, nobody on in front of him. Takes that one above the head for a ball. That one's dropped in there for strike 2, so the count even now at 2-2 to Parker. Rochon a strike away from sending us to the 7th. Last inning here of game 1 of this doubleheader, and Parker strikes out, looking a 1-2-3-6 for Garrett Rochon, and we head to the 7th. The Pios' last at bats coming up here at Sal Maglie Stadium.
Join us in the ballpark. Speaking of that, if you can't make it to the ballpark, be sure and check out the live stream. You watch the amazing Carson Harper. You can find that on all of our social media. You can hear the show. You can hear there's all kinds of exciting things happening, and we'd love to have you here at the Sal, but if you can't be here, just check out the live stream. You won't regret it.
Well, on Facebook too, so she'd be like, here's 16 years ago or 14 years ago. Facebook and like, and those people are all getting married.
This doubleheader coming up right after our first meeting.
We are in the final inning of baseball here in the first game of this doubleheader. Top of the 7th coming up. Andrew Damiani, flamethrower right-hander, pitched a 1-2-3-6 now looks to get the 2-inning save here for the Americans. Americans 5-13 on the season, last in the West Division. 0-3 versus the Pioneers on the season, looking to make their first win happen here. Pios 11-8 on the season, 3-0 in the season series. So here comes Coy Schwanger. It'll be the 8, 9, and 10 hitters for the Pioneers. Schwanger takes that one at the shins for ball 1. The middle of the Pios order was hot in this game, but the bottom of the order hasn't been quite as effective. In fact, if the bottom of the order was able to get some timely hits, the Pios might have been able to bring in some more runs with runners in scoring position. But instead, it's just 3 runs on 4 hits. Pios need 3 to extend this ball game and make Niagara Falls come up for their last at-bats. If not, this will be the last half inning of the ball game, and we'll start preparations for game number 2 of this doubleheader. Plenty of baseball today, even if this one ends prematurely. It's a 3-1 count here to to Schwanger. Rips this one right at the shortstop Morrow. Mariani takes it and makes the play. So Mariani gets the first out of the first. Schwanger grounds out. Manny Castro coming up to the plate. First pitch over the middle for strike 1, and it's 0-1 now to Castro. And after that foul ball, it's quickly 0-2. Damiani has not gone behind in many counts. That has helped him go to his best pitches ahead in counts. And he gets Castro swinging, a 3-pitch strikeout, and now 2 down in the 7th. The Pios are down to their last out. It will be Brody Bartenstein coming to the plate. First pitch upstairs to Bartenstein. It's a 1-0 count. Andrew Damiani, and out and away from getting the 2-inning save. This one's popped up behind the shortstop. The shortstop Mariani ranging back, gives way to the left fielder Hollins, and that will be the ball game. The Americans get their first win against the Pios of the season. They head into the second game now with a 6-13 record. I have the standings right here. Pios now 11-9 on the season. The Americans 6-13. We head to game 2 in 30 minutes at 4:30 here at Sal Maglie Stadium. Got more baseball coming your way. Thank you for joining me. It's a fantastic game 1, a lot of action. We got more coming right up, halfway done the baseball today. Before we leave, here is a quick word from our sponsors. Thank you to our sponsors, Absolute Care of 3 Rivers, AIM Independent Living, AJ's Outdoor Power Equipment, Al's Leasing, Arno Health, Bill's Bullpen, Blaze Brockway Contracting, Broome County Health Department, Buckley's Automotive, Bully Hill Vineyards, CAF USA, Casella, Central Hots, Chemung Canal Trust, Chemung Supply, Coca-Cola, CVS Distribution, Dandy Mini Marts, Dr. Susan Minchin, Duncan, Alma Chevy, Elmira Heat Treating, Elmira Impact, FM Hell, Clubhouse, Guthrie, Hardinge, Heroes Comic Shop, Helselson's, Hilliard Corporation, Howard Hanna, Jubilee Foods, Just in Time, Kennedy Valve, M&T Bank, Martha Lloyd Community Services, Ma's Cheese Dreams, Myers RV, National Guard, Nucor, OASAS, Papa John's, Pathways, Pizza Hut, Red Robin, Rodney J. Strange, Saratoga Eagle, Save-A-Lot, Service Meter, ServPro, ServU Credit Union, Sheddon's Wholesale, Southern Tier Custom Fab, Swan Moores Insurance, Texas Roadhouse, Tom's South Corning, Transdev, United Healthcare, United States Air Force, Value Home Center, Vasco Brands, Visions FCU, Word Manufacturing, Wegmans, Weiss Markets, Wilbur Auto, Wilkins RV, and Woodbrook Assisted Living. Thank you once again to all our sponsors. Once again, thank you to all of our sponsors this season of the Elmira Pioneers. That will be all. Thank you for joining me. Be back for Game 2 here in just moments.